Hello, everybody. Welcome to Zoom in episode 3 with your host is JayAvereé from Columbus, Ohio. I am with Outside Think, interviewing Maybin Chisebuka. This is the father of our CEO, Mujale. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, and you?
I'm doing wonderful. I'm very excited to meet you. I know he mentioned you in our very first episode, so it's an honor to be able to speak with you today.
Thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we'll go ahead and just jump right into it. Well, can you go ahead and let me know a little bit about your story? And I know that you are from where again?
I'm from Zambia, Africa.
Zambia. Okay, okay. Your story on getting here to the USA,
Say that again?
getting over to the USA. Can you talk to me about like how did you end up here? More about yourself a little bit.
Yeah, sure. The interesting part about this story is it's not that my dream was to come to the United States. It's just that our country was having a lot of issues economically, and people did not have enough food. I mean, there was, literally fighting for food. So what happened was at one time, I went to, get some food because they had told us that there was a truck that brought food in our area. And unfortunately, and I don't think Mujale remembers, but when I went there, there was a stampede. So I fell down. It's not that people wanted to kill me, it's just that there was commotion and people were fighting for food. So I was mad. I said to myself, why should people live like this? You know? And right away, I said, I'm going to the States.
Hmm.
The strange part was I really didn't have enough resources, like no large bank account, no
Right,
scholarship, none
right.
of that. But I just had that deep desire that, well, I need to go to the States and, make things happen.
Mhm.
So to make the story short, the first thing you do, like any other immigrant, is to go to the embassy, U.S. embassy, which I did. And when I went there, they asked me why I wanted to come to the United States. I said I wanted to come to go to school. The first gentleman that was interviewing me, he began to laugh, literally. Then I realized that maybe I'd made a mistake.
Mhm.
But he brought back his boss, and his boss asked me, said, "Oh, I hear you want to go to the States." I said, "Yeah." Why? I said, "I want to go to school." Anyway, to make the story short, he just told this other guy, said, "Oh, give him a visa," just like that.
Mhm.
So after I got the visa, then I went to the British Airways travel agent. I asked for an airline ticket. And to make the story short, I was able to apply. And a day later, they gave me an airline ticket.
So, can you tell me a little bit more about the origin story of how you became a gardener and how you became like tBUG owner and then you moved it to the States, please?
Well, going back to Zambia, initially I wasn't really a gardener, but I think it's the hard times in my country. And when I saw people without food, that bugged me a lot because I knew that we had land, we had the rain, and we had the sun. And I couldn't figure out why people were starving. And I didn't have the education in gardening. So I guess I began by observing plants around me. And I knew that although I was not a trained gardener, or although I'd never done gardening before, somehow instinctively, I knew that if I put something in the ground, it can sprout. So I just began by just doing it. But in fact, I did something that was kind of interesting in my community. I planted, it's a plant similar to eggplant, a little bit smaller, very popular in my country. So, and how I got the seeds, I just went to a friend. I knew he had a tree and a little and seeds. So I asked him if I could get some seeds, you know. And it was through trial and error. But what drove me was just focus and to see how that little seed or those many seeds that a friend of mine gave me would come to fruition. And so what amazed me was I planted 1,500 seedlings. I used to count them. And just to see them grow, it gave me you can call it the joy of trying to do more. Because I saw that the little seed can multiply. And to be honest with you, what happened was when I grew those 1,500 plants, I became a wholesaler automatically because the women in the villages, they would come and gather the eggplants from my garden. So I would sell it to them, and then they would go to the marketplace and sell the eggplants.
And I do want to segue. It seems like that ambition and that risk taking seems to run in the blood because you gave it to your son, Mujale, who seems to have a similar, just ambitious story as yours. So I know that he brought up how you inspired him, how you used to paint and other hobbies you used to do together. Could you please kind of go in a little bit more about your connection to Mujale and how you've inspired him to do what he does today?
Yeah, I think if I can kind of quote my one person who really inspired me is Bill Gates' dad. He wrote a book, and the book title was Showing Up for Life. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, as I went about doing my life, Mujale was observing. But one of the things I observed even from the early age was that he was very, very creative because there wasn't like a lot of toys in our area, but he would use little sticks to make something incredible. And me and my wife would say, wow, look at that. So we noticed that he was really using the things that he had in our community to create something spectacular. While I was also trying to create, stuff in my community. It was like going back and forth. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that is so genuine, so wholesome. I love that. So I know that you have the company, that tBUG, right? We got the Bellevue Garden. Can you please tell me more about that, please, and how it pertains to the community and your mission?
Yeah. The Bellevue Urban Garden, which is in short form tBUG, we focus on three things. We focus on food, youth empowerment, and of course, protecting the environment. And you can tell from my story that food is a big deal because of my background. And so when I moved to the United States from day one, I really wanted to find a space where we could grow food. And so that's how, I know you're going to invite to interview me and Nancy later on, but that's how we teamed up to create tBUG.
Can you go in a little bit more about your connection to Nancy? I do look forward to talking with her sometime in the future. Everybody, she will be in the future soon. But yeah, can you give me a brief story about how you ended up connecting with Nancy and how you made tBUG into a thing in Seattle?
Yeah, what happened was both of us were volunteering for a nonprofit organization who kind of do the similar thing we do, And so we began to chat, and right there and then we connected. What do I mean? It's just like from that moment onwards, we just felt that there were a lot of things that were similar and a lot of things that we agreed on, And so the next step was, let's go ahead and just do this.
Okay. Actually, this question wasn't really in the document, but I kind of wanted to listen there. What were like any challenges to creating like a partnership with Nancy and actually getting the ball rolling in the community and reaching the kids and the families that you reach now?
Well, the challenge is like any other startup is you don't have the financing, you know? No one has, gives you like a big check to start your project.
Mhm.
So you have to be creative. And that's why me and Nancy work together because both of us come from creative backgrounds, creating something out of almost nothing, so to speak.
Right.
And so I can't say it was very, very easy. I'd be lying, but we knew what we needed to do. In short, the driving force was really the mission. Why? Why were we
Mhm.
why were we creating this space? So why were we growing the garden? So that was the driving force. The rest
Mhm.
is just like, you do everything you can to put things together.
All right. So could you please tell me a little more about how you got involved with the youth, specifically in the community?
Well, we used to have volunteers come from the nearby schools, and we just saw their excitement when they are putting their hands in the soil. And so, but I also saw the potential because when I looked at the numbers, like in the Bellevue School District, there are over 20,000 students. Then I said to myself, what can one do with that kind of number? I mean, so many students. So that gave me the motivation that, oh, the more we engage students, the more we can create something powerful.
Mm.
But the other thing which really came out of it was that they connected us to their parents, And so we said, oh, now we can get hold of the household. But the household also is part of the community. He said, oh, now we can actually penetrate the community. But we start with a student, and then, of course, with schools, and then with the community. So when you look at it, then it becomes like a numbers game, but with tremendous potential
Oh,
and
yeah.
with tremendous outcomes.
I do want to go into a little bit of a personal hobby situation. More about you. Do you do anything else other than grow amazing plants for us to be fed with, like painting, drawing? What kind of hobbies do you do on the side when you're not busy?
Uh, One of the things I enjoy doing is writing.
Mhm.
Growing up, I never thought I'd be a writer, but I began maybe 20 years plus. I just developed the passion to write. In fact, one of the things we did together with Mujale, I asked Mujale to sketch some drawings for me. And so if you go on Amazon, you get a book entitled Ants Go Shopping. So Mujale did the sketch, I did the writing.
Okay, we're gonna put that link in the description. Keep going, please. Tell me more.
Yeah, so the reason why I've become so passionate about writing, because there are many things that, you can tell people worldwide, you know, because your book can go far. You don't have to be there. And so I've come to realize that the more I write, plus the more I write, I feel like I'm enlarging my thinking. And I see the weak links, I see the strong points. And so I've become really passionate about writing.
Mm. Okay. So you seem very passionate about just like self-development and all that. I'm into psychology and philosophy and all brain things too. And I also write the newsletters for Outside Things. So writing is my passion as well. So I was really resonating with you there. I do think that the mind is the best gift you can have and exercise, and writing is the best way to do that. I think I agree with that. So it's really awesome. Well, I mean, do you have anything else that you want to say? I think we've covered a lot of great things. Any closing remarks that you wanna say to the people, any creatives, entrepreneurs, aspiring business owners?
Sure. The last few maybe weeks or months, I've been thinking of something that can be very beneficial to all of us. What do I mean? most people feel that they don't have the capability to do certain things. And I always question that. What do I mean? Because during these kind of, I call them hard times or challenging times, there's a lot of fear and anxiety. And so I began to do short interviews, interviewing people at random. And I would always ask them, I said, can you tell me something, or what comes to your mind when you hear or read the word powerful? You know, and I've had different answers from different people. They're very interesting. The reason I'm doing that is because I want to kind of share with individuals that, you know, they have to look inside before they look outside. You know, because there's so much in us, but sometimes the fear or maybe what we have gone through tends to suppress that. It's like a seed, you know. A seed can stay for many, many years without growing. But if you do two things, add just a little water, a little heat, the seed sprouts and becomes a beautiful plant. So it's so.
How do you get the water in the sunlight? Is that the other side? The other side of fear is the water in the sunlight. That's the part that people get stuck on. I love this advice. I needed it for myself too. Keep going, please. I need to hear more.
And so that's why, like, when we have teams at a garden, we start with a simple seed, like kale seed, you know, and we tell kids, usually, sometimes parents, they said, okay, just hold that simple seed in your hand, hold it tightly. And then what we're trying to do is to have them visualize the impact of that little seed. Because that little seed becomes a big plant. And that big plant, within a year, is able to produce 20,000 seeds. And most people are amazed when we give them those numbers. But the lesson here is that, you know, we're trying to show impact. See your impact. That tiny little seed can become something powerful. That little dream inside you can become something very, very powerful. But you have to feed the seed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm gonna sit with that one for a second. I really appreciate you saying that. That one was received. Did y'all all receive that? I hope you guys all received that. Rewind it back if you need to. You know, thank you for that so much. That was amazing. I am your hostess, JayAvereé, interviewing Maybin with tBUG in Seattle. I'm from Columbus, Ohio, and we will see you next time on Zoom in episode 4. Thank you so much. See you next time.
Thank you. Bye.